In this video, we will learn how to set the G100 inverter RAPIEnet Plus option module. Before setting up, I will briefly explain RAPIEnet communication. RAPIEnet is an Ethernet-based dedicated communication technology developed by LS Electric. It is a dedicated communication protocol for LS Electric that enables Ethernet-based high-speed, large-capacity communication and enables more reliable communication with various network diagnostic functions and full ring network configuration support. RAPIEnet is an abbreviation for Real-Time Automation Protocols for Industrial Ethernet and has been certified according to the IEC standard. The industrial switch function is built in to fundamentally improve problems such as lack of real-time performance, wiring problem, and lack of redundancy support function. In particular, the ring control function to support the duplication of communication lines supports the automatic selection of a ring manager without additional setting, and up to 63 slaves can be connected. In addition, data communication is possible up to a maximum of 2 kilometers between modules. RAPIEnet communication can improve network reliability through ring configuration. A typical daisy chain system configuration used in the field is shown in the figure. During data communication, if an error occurs in one module, as shown below, or an error occurs due to a problem such as cable disconnection, communication between the modules at the next point and the master becomes impossible. Such network vulnerabilities can be easily maintained when problems occur in the network through RAPIEnet's ring topology network configuration. In the case of an error in one module or a cable break in the ring system, communication is continuously possible in the opposite direction to the point where the problem occurred, so a reliable network configuration is possible. The following introduces the types and appearance of inverter option modules that support RAPIEnet communication. First of all, the products that support RAPIEnet communication in LS Electric are G100, IS7, and H100, and the corresponding communication option module must be installed for each. The type and specifications of the communication option module are slightly different depending on the inverter type, so you must install the communication option module suitable for the product. The detailed specifications of options for each product are as follows. In order to communicate with G100, RAPIEnet Plus communication option module needs to be installed. Before installing the communication option module, the inverter power must be turned off before proceeding. If the RAPIEnet Plus communication option module is installed or removed while the power is on, both the communication module and the inverter may be damaged. After the inverter capacitor voltage is completely discharged, install or remove the RAPIEnet Plus communication option module. The installation method is as follows. Connect the RJ45 cable included with the G100 RAPIEnet Plus communication option. Next, remove the option cover of the G100 inverter body. Connect the G100 inverter main body and the G100 RAPIEnet Plus communication option with the included RJ45 cable. Hook the G100 RAPIEnet Plus communication option into the groove of the inverter body. Installation is completed by tightening the knob screw in the G100 RAPIEnet Plus communication option with a tool. The following describes how to set parameters for communication with RAPIEnet Plus. If you want to operate the G100 inverter through RAPIEnet Plus communication, set the DRV mode of the keypad to number 4 field bus. Also, if you want to give inverter frequency command through RAPIEnet Plus communication, set FRQ mode to number 8 field bus. RAPIEnet Plus communication supports 3 protocols for information exchange: RAPIEnet, Ethernet IP, and Modbus TCP. Therefore, the protocol of the communication method used for communication setting must be set, and it can be selected from CM Group 25, and either RAPIEnet Enable or RAPIEnet Disable can be selected. When communicating with Ethernet IP or Modbus TCP protocol, select RAPIEnet Disable number 0, and select RAPIEnet Enable number 2 to communicate with RAPIEnet. After setting is complete, set CM Group 94 to 1 Yes, and save the changes. Next, let's see how to set the IP address of the inverter. Since RAPIEnet is Ethernet-based communication, it must be connected to the same IP network as the host controller for communication. Therefore, it must be set to the same address as the IP address of the host controller, and the CM group number 10 to 13 is the IP address, 14 to 17 is the subnet mask, and 18 to 21 is the gateway address. After setting, set CM group 94 to Yes in the same way to save the changes. After setting the IP address, you need to set up the communication area. For RAPIEnet communication, it is necessary to set the status parameter, which is the read data area, and the control parameter, which is the write data area, of the inverter. The number of each parameter sets the number of status parameters in CM group 23, and control parameters in CM group 24. As shown in the table below, the instance values of input and output are determined according to the setting values, and the number of parameters is also determined accordingly. Since it is possible to set up to 8 each, check the number of required data before setting. The communication address of the transmission data is set in CM group numbers 31 to 38, and the communication address of the inverter suitable for the read data area is input. The communication address of the received data is set in CM group numbers 51 to 58, and the communication address of the inverter suitable for the write data area is input. After completing all settings, set CM group 94 to 1 and save the changes. For more information on inverter communication address, refer to Chapter 11 Communication Function of G100 Complete Korean Manual. You can access our website and download the G100 User Manual. As RAPIEnet communication is Ethernet-based communication, an STP cable is used. As shown in the figure, just plug the cable into the RAPIEnet port of the inverter that is the slave and the host controller. RAPIEnet Plus option module can know the current communication status through the LED on the front. Here's what each LED means. A total of 4 LEDs can be displayed, and the CPU at the top is an LED that can check whether the option module is installed properly in the inverter. The following LED is error, and you can check if an error has occurred in the option module. It turns red when E2P-ROM is damaged, when both links are not connected, or when IP conflicts. If the error LED lights up every 1 second, it means that the communication of the RAPIEnet Plus option module is bad. If the lighting interval is 2 seconds, the communication parameter set by the keypad and the parameter information set in the communication option module are different. Please refer to the following table for information on link 1 to LED. In order to use the RAPIEnet communication for operation and frequency commands, set the inverter parameters as follows. The DRV group command source is set to number 4 field bus by giving the operation command. Next, to set the frequency command method, set the FRQ group frequency source to number 8 field bus. Next, in order to communicate with RAPIEnet, RAPIEnet communication function must be activated. If CM group 25 is set to 2, RAPIEnet is set to enable. Finally, to save the changed settings, set CM group 94 to yes to complete. Since RAPIEnet communication is Ethernet-based communication, you need to set an IP address for communication. It must be set in the same IP band as the host controller. In this video, we will set IP address to 192.168.1.101, subnet mask to 255.255.255.0, and gateway address to 192.168.1.1. IP address setting is set in CM group number 10 to number 13. Next, subnet mask is set in CM group numbers 14 to 17. Finally, gateway address is set in CM group numbers 18 to 21. After setting each parameter, set CM group 94 to 1 to save the changed value. Next, we will set the number of communication read and write data. I set it up in CM group number 23 and 24. And in this video, I will set 3 read data and 2 write data. To set the number of read data, move to CM group number 23. The number of parameters is determined according to the input instance value. And since we decided to set the read data to 3, set the corresponding setting value to 6. If you look at the table for write data as well, the number of parameter is determined according to the output instance value. And since it was decided to set the write data to 2, set the corresponding setting value to 5. To save the changed setting value, set CM group 94 to yes to complete. Lastly, we will set the communication address of the read data and write data of the inverter. Since it was decided to set 3 read data, set it in CM group numbers 31 to 33. In this video, we will read the output frequency, output voltage, and operation status of the inverter. The communication address of the inverter can be checked in Chapter 11 Communication Function of the G100 RAPIEnet Option Module User's Manual. Here, the communication address of the output frequency is 000A. The communication address of the output voltage is 000B. And the communication address of the operation state is 000E. so each address is set. Next, we will set the write data communication address. Since it was decided to set two write data, set it in CM group numbers 51 to 52. In this video, we will set each target frequency and operation command. Since the communication address of the target frequency is 0005 and the communication address of the operation command is 0006, each address is set. After completing all settings, set CM group number 94 to yes to finish. Thank you.